We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
It's episode 202 of No Brains, No Headache podcast. We're back here in the studio, ready to record another one. Can't wait to get after it. My name's Jordan, going to be your host today. Happy to be here. Damn glad to do so. Across from me, as always, my longtime friend of 25 plus years, also the co-host, co-creator, co-founder of NBNH, fellow comedian. He's my confidant. Some call him Matt. I call him Ongo. And also in studio, we're joined by another guest. The very own Wyatt Homan is here, the next big thing in music. So we got a full studio today. Wyatt, welcome to the show, man.
Good to be here, man.
Talking to the microphone like a gentleman.
Good to be here.
Aren't you a musician? Also, that adjusts the height. When I picked it up off the side of the road, I made sure before I backed it up that it adjusts. So if you need to adjust yourself, do so accordingly. Matt, how are you today?
I've been better.
Yeah, showed up. Matt was snoring. He was on logs.
I don't know what happened last night, but I was editing some videos on my iPad, and I opened up the internet, and there's just Putin.
You're doing a little Putin research?
I think it's because I was talking about Russia or something, and I was trying to put together a clip, but there's no Russian clip on my computer. So
Was it our last episode when we
Yeah.
talked about Russia, about doing the portal?
Yeah.
You hear about the portal? Between New York City and Dublin?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, man.
What have you seen?
I've seen some tits.
Nice.
yeah, that was the first thing I brought
Oh,
up
like,
too.
yeah.
Did you see them, though, or just the side view?
I've seen the side view.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can
But,
about
yeah,
imagine that lets the brain wander a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's the American way. We will find who that girl is, and she will start an OnlyFans, and we will make her a millionaire.
That's capitalism 101. Okay.
Was she on the New York side or was she on the Dublin side? Because I definitely feel like people in Dublin are showing tits.
I feel like it would be the Dublin side because they're like,
I don't
New
know.
York, you'd get like indecent exposure or something.
I think that's just an average day in New York.
Yeah, it's like a homeless guy jerking off with a heroin needle sticking out of his arm.
Yeah.
It's like that video from, like, I don't know when it's from. It's like mid 2000s. That guy on the Walk of Fame is just jerking off. Somebody posted it on YouTube, and then obviously it got taken down, but then now it's all over everywhere else.
Well, yeah, you go on like Twitter is one where like I stumbled upon a guy with what do you call it, gas?
I don't know.
Oh, the gas things that you put in your car.
Gas,
nozzle.
the nozzle.
Yeah, in his asshole, and he was jerking off.
Off to a hot start here, episode 202 NBNH.
Yeah, dude.
Here we go. We're off to the races. Wyatt, you're not from Bismarck.
No, sir.
You're hanging out with two locals right now. Tell us about your journey to Bismarck.
Journey to Bismarck. You want the last 5 years?
I want you to talk for the next 60 minutes. I'm going to go take a nap. When I come back, we'll wrap up the show.
Hell yeah, sounds good, man. Really glad to be here, dude. The person that I wanted to talk to.
You caught us at a weird time. Quick turnaround, but that's okay. Happy to schedule you. Where are you from? Where do you originate from?
I originate from Ohio.
It's not a trick question.
I was born in Ohio, lived in Kentucky for 13 years, moved to Indiana for the 13 to, 18.
You lived in Kentucky for 13 years.
I did.
Had I known this prior, it would explain a lot.
Yeah. So maybe I'm not as weird. Maybe I'm just from Kentucky.
Yeah, it's like that tracks. It's like, oh, I'm from Indiana, like, oh, Hoosiers country.
It's
It's like
What's the biggest city in Kentucky?
Louisville.
Up to speculation.
Isn't
I
the
may or may
capital
not know.
Frankfurt?
Capital's Frankfurt, but
Nice.
that whole area over there in the east of Kentucky is just like
Got a map
city,
if you need to reference it.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, so we're gonna go to.
Point to Kentucky on the map for us, Wyatt.
Are you pointing to the word Kentucky, or is that where you're from?
Most definitely. Frankfurt's the biggest city. Also, the capital, Lexington's right next to it.
Lexington.
You know where the Derbies are.
Wait, Lexington's not the capital.
No, it's not, but it's right next door.
Oh. Is it like a Bismarck-Mandan situation?
Yeah, but they're both pretty big.
So Ohio, Kentucky, then we make our way to Indiana. That's where your fruitful years were. Is that where you say you became a man, was Indiana?
The fruitful years, I became a man in California.
Okay.
I was stationed in San Diego.
So was that right after high school you joined the military?
I did.
What branch are we talking?
Navy, bro.
Navy. Also explains a lot.
Where did you get a go for the Navy?
I went to a few places.
Where was your basic training?
Illinois.
Oh.
Chicago, North Chicago. I got on the shortest plane ride I've ever been on. It was up in the air from Indianapolis and straight back down. 20 minutes maybe. It was so stupid. Everybody else went on buses and they flew us.
That's all right. Did you get some nuts on board?
That's why
there
we're in debt, because the military's flying people that they could take buses for.
Well, Taylor Swift does the same thing.
She can afford it.
Yeah.
She's probably richer than
If
the US
I'm
government.
flying everywhere, it's because I'm going into
I just want
crippling
to point
debt.
out that I'm not hating on her. She's a beautiful woman. Makes
Do you
great
think she
music.
got fake cans?
Yeah, what's your take on that?
fake cans? Definitely doesn't seem like they're real.
Okay.
Because they just got bigger out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. Very rarely. Usually involves childbirth.
Yeah.
Something of that nature. Anyway, not here to talk about T-Swizzle. Here to talk about Wyatt. So, you make your way to California?
Yep.
When do you go there? What's going on in Cali?
2017, 2020.
And you're just being a Navy person?
Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
What does one do in the Navy?
Depends on your job. I'm still basically doing the same thing.
Just
Diesel,
turning wrenches?
turning wrenches.
How many years have you been turning wrenches in your life?
Let me see. Be going on 8 years then. 8 years. Going to turn 27 in a couple months. So I joined at 19. So I would say.
You've been turning wrenches for 8 years?
Yep.
Is there any advice you'd give out there to any young wrench turners in the future?
The best advice I could ever give you is that, your boss, he's going to make you feel like they can keep you. There's more money down the road, dude. Don't be loyal to somebody that's not loyal to you.
Sounds like you're in the middle of a professional crisis. Would that be accurate to say?
That would be very accurate to say.
Oh,
How similar is your life to the movie Ice Road with Liam Neeson?
Well, I'm more or less the guy that's actually building the motor in 10
Yeah,
minutes.
like his autistic
Yeah.
brother who was in
Yeah.
the military. You're not autistic.
Speculation.
You think you're just dumb. You joined pretty much the
Matt,
right
could
club.
you treat
there.
our guest with some respect? Put some respect on this man.
Well, I
He
mean-
served our country. We owe him a great debt.
No, I agree with him. I got a pretty good ASVAB score, but that don't mean shit.
But it made you a talented man, would you say that?
I would say, yeah. I got a lot of experiences across the board, not just from the job I was doing in the military, but a lot of things that I went through that shaped me. Absolutely.
How many times would you say you've turned a wrench?
I would say maybe about 12,000 times.
12,000. Wow, that's quite a guesstimate.
There might be more than that.
Yeah, I use a wrench every once in a while for work.
I feel like we're so close to just transitioning to talking about jerking off. Like,
We already did that, okay? Let's give our viewers and our listeners a break from the J.O.
Like, how many times have you cranked your hall?
yeah. I've been turning wrenches since I've been about 7, so
The day I got my first pube, I started turning a wrench, if you know what I mean.
Boys bloomed early, man. I think I was 10 years old.
Yeah, that's Bismarck for you. Hanging out with a couple locals. What do you think of Bismarck? You made your way to the old B-town.
It's not a bad place. Good people. Good people. Still trying to figure the accent out. But,
Do I have one?
every single one of you guys have one.
But how bad is mine in relation to others? So I've worked really hard on this to get my dialect clear. And now I'm really thinking about how I'm pronunciating.
there was one time we did an interview with a comedian, and he was like, Jordan, your accent's pretty thick. And like we like hang up with him, and Jordan's sitting there. He's like, "My accent's thick." He's just disgusted with himself.
Oh, I hired a dialect coach the next day. We went down the old
It's
trail.
just you and a bunch of Nigerians learning how to talk again.
You can tell by how people say North Dakota.
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Oh, yeah. Get your coupons ready because we have a half off sale this weekend.
One that's really telling is how they say motor. Mortar.
Motor?
Yeah, can't confirm.
Motor.
Can't confirm.
What about the word bag? Bag. I've been told I say the word bag incorrectly, as if someone's begging for money.
Bag.
Sounds like a fucking episode of Trailer Park Boys everywhere I go sometimes.
Oh,
Love Trailer Park Boys.
such a good show.
Who's your
I
favorite
love it.
character?
100%, dude. It's gotta be. Damn, I just asked this question to somebody a couple weeks ago. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Ricky, Julian, Bubbles, Leahy, Randy, J-Rock.
J-Rock.
It's J-Rock, 100% J-Rock, dude.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm like, why can't I
J-Rock is
think
the
of his name?
realest.
I love when he's pretending like he's in prison, and he's just living underneath his mom's trailer because he's like, I only got probation for that shit.
It could happen to you because it happened to me.
What's the trailer park situation like in all the places you've lived? How's Kentucky for trailer parks?
Kentucky's just Kentucky. you
Yeah.
know? No disrespect to all my Kentucky homies. I love y'all. But most of the people that come out of the trailer park live just like the people that never lived in a trailer park. I don't know if it has something to do with them not putting fluoride in their water, but, I grew up thinking that these people were all on drugs, but I'm like, oh, they're missing teeth because they just don't fucking brush them.
That'll help.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge in dental health.
Yeah.
A dentist will tell you that.
Yeah.
Most what I know from Kentucky is from the show Moonshiners, and there's one guy in there who looks just like he's from Kentucky.
You got to fit the part, though. If you're going to be in a show called Moonshiners, it can't be a clean cut, average Joe, okay? You got to be wearing coveralls, have a weird haircut,
Missing a
missing
couple
3 to
teeth.
4 teeth.
Yeah. Well, having 3 or 4 teeth.
Having
only,
3 or
yeah.
4 teeth.
Yeah, my
Okay.
thing was like I seen an episode of that. It's been a while, like years, but this guy ran his moonshine into his sink in his RV. So they never caught him, for a while. He's just
I did.
filling these jars up from his kitchen sink in his RV, and I'm like,
And then everybody got lead poisoning and died.
yeah, that or but at the same time, they don't care.
You ever bought moonshine, like a jar of moonshine straight from a moonshiner in the mountainside?
Absolutely.
How does it taste?
It's better than the shit you buy from the store, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy store-bought moonshine ever. That just sounds like a bad idea.
There are people, though, that you're like, they drank too much moonshine because they're blind. It's like they got a bad batch.
100%.
Do you know any blind people from drinking moonshine a little too early in the run?
I wouldn't say I know any blind people, but I definitely know some people that are a little bit more Kentucky, if you know what I mean.
I feel like
I
Kentucky's
really don't,
one of those places that just kills the blind people. They're bringing down the race.
No, it's more like the Hills Have Eyes movie. They let them stay on their side of the mountain, and if they come over, then that's when it becomes a problem.
I have seen all 5 Hills Have Eyes.
You have. That's pretty impressive.
Or no, I'm thinking a Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
But same thing. But Hills Have Eyes, the second one with Nick Cannon, not a bad film.
It's disturbing. That's for sure. Makes me, think twice before I go hiking in the desert. You know what I mean? Bunch of inbreds. Is that what we're getting at? Kentucky's full of inbreds. I'll say it if you don't want to.
No, I would say more or less. I lived in a county where they were part of the reason that they made it illegal in Kentucky, but that's been a long time ago. So
The law says I can't marry my cousin, but my mom said it's okay.
But hey, they're one of the states that made it illegal. There's still states where it's legal. So
Is it legal in North Dakota?
I'm not 100% sure, man.
I did see a map one time on Instagram that was like the states where it's legal to marry your first cousin.
Up to speculation.
All right, you guys talk while I do.
I went to school with a girl in Indiana that I'm not going to say names because
Yeah, I
whatever.
wouldn't do that.
But all my friends back home know who we're talking about. Her dad, he rode a lawnmower around town We called him Speedy.
Apparently, it's illegal in all 50 states, according to my brief Google search. You calling BS on that?
I am calling BS on that. That's the AI overview.
A Class C felony? Sleeping with your cousin? Jeez. I thought the shame would be enough.
Oh, I mean,
you know?
okay, so
The pregnancy scare alone will be enough.
hit the
punishment.
drop down bar, brother. Let's
Okay,
see.
okay.
Let's see what is illegal. Okay, so you can marry your second and third cousins.
Your second and beyond, that should be fair game. You get to a family event, you have a hot second cousin, you start thinking some things. But yeah. Then you get to Indiana. What are the people like in Indiana? Do you ever think they're going to change the name of that state?
I don't.
Never?
I don't. It's kind of a staple, actually. And despite what I may know, I lived there for quite a while, so I done some research, but it got the name Indiana because the indigenous people, which we love very much.
Of course.
But we don't have reservations. We have historical markers, and stuff. They're kind of just integrated into society, just normal people,
We don't have reservations. It's just walk in, first come, first serve kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also because there's a lot of sad things that happen there to those people. So, yeah, that might be another reason.
What part of Indiana are you talking?
So I'm from...
Got the map. Don't forget about it.
Yeah. How close to Indianapolis? Oh, so you're up by Gary, aren't you?
No. I'm
Stay away from Gary.
I'm the exact same distance between both.
Dude is weird.
Gary's a little bit closer, but if you jump on the interstate and you get in that right lane and just...
What's worse, Gary, Indiana, or Mandan, North Dakota? Go.
Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
I've heard Gary, Indiana is like a ghost town. Like you just drive through and you won't see a single person.
Oh, no, people don't come out during the day.
They go out at night?
They're like vampires, bro. Absolutely. My brother lives like 20 minutes away from there.
Is it like shift work? And all of a sudden it's like 9:30 p.m. and everyone just kind of starts floating out in the streets?
I have no idea.
What are they doing at night?
I don't know.
What are they doing all day?
It used to be a steel mill town.
It's still
But
Still a steel
it's in full
mill?
bore. It's a U.S. Steel.
Yeah,
At one point in time, it was the biggest steel mill in the world, but
it's kind of got the Detroit effect where they grew really big and then fell off. Like, there's one guy that's like I think he's their congressman from that district.
Is it Gary?
And he literally just moved there because he's like, oh, no one's running, so.
He's like, well, my name's Gary. This works out.
Well, it works out because it's on Lake Michigan. So you have U.S. Steel,
It's a suburb of Chicago.
and then
see that
on the
now.
other side,
That's why I've got the map.
you go into the town. It's actually called East Chicago, Indiana, right on the border. There's Burns Harbor. That's another steel mill. So I don't know what happened to that, but I would say kind of a Detroit effect. You drive through there. There's a lot of buildings boarded up, stuff like that. Sad, but
Well, here in our neck of the woods, we like to call South Mandan, the rather wealthy and nice part. We like to call that West Bismarck. Really messes with the locals.
It is weird, though, if you talk to anyone that lives in that portion of Mandan and you ask where they live, they don't say Mandan. They either say Captain's Landing or Lakewood.
I live in Lakewood.
Yeah, it's kind of...
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right
Okay.
now. So there's plenty to
Don't
talk
have to.
about.
Absolutely.
But let's stay on par. Give our listeners a wonderful experience, and let's cut the crap, Wyatt. We know why you're here. Okay, you're a rising musician. What's that all about? What's been going on lately? What do you want to share with the people of NBNH?
I would say I don't know how many times I've turned a wrench, but I could give a better estimate of how many songs I've played over and over and over just to get where I'm at and where I'm going. That's what I want to do. That's the dream, and I'm going to chase it.
So we got this guitar back here. We'll get to that later, but that's your main instrument. You play any other instruments? What was your start in music all about?
Starting music, just kind of listening. My dad played. My grandpa played. Grandpa played a little bit. He didn't really play much. He was getting to the age, as I was growing up.
Grandpapa?
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 Grandpapa.
So it was kind of handed down to you, generation to generation, in a sense.
Kind of, sorta, yeah. Yeah, I had about 4 guitars growing up, and I only started playing on the 4th one that my dad bought me. So I'm like, you know what? I came home from school one day.
You
and
just bashed the other guitars against the wall, or what?
I was just young, and I don't know why I didn't have any interest in it at the time.
I played guitar for a couple of years, and I could tell you why I didn't have any interest. It wasn't good.
Well, I was prescribed on Adderall for like 10 years of my life, so definitely had other things I was focused on, like trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were in a straight jacket, just growling at people.
No, not necessarily. In my mind, I was.
Sometimes I would have to wear a mouth guard when I go to sleep.
So at one point you pick up the old guitar over here and you start taking it a little more seriously. When was that?
About 11 years old.
Okay.
Maybe 12.
What did you start playing? Did you do stuff you knew, or did you practice your chords, or how'd you go about it?
First song I ever wanted to learn was actually a song that I only knew it from one person, but I actually learned the Johnny Cash version of that song. It was
Which
just
song?
the intro. It was Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Ooh, fantastic.
Yeah. And I never finished learning it, but I thought it was cool to get that intro down, and I showed my dad. It was a good time. And I was like, hey, I want to keep doing this.
So at what point did you start, singing along? Playing an instrument is one thing, but singing simultaneously, wow.
I've been doing that since I learned how to walk. I used to just sit on the school bus in preschool. We would be like the last kids for like 45 minutes because we lived way out of town. And
one of those ones, huh?
You're like the guy from Napoleon Dynamite.
Home to myself, yeah, absolutely.
And just throws a superhero on a string out the window.
That bus driver was a bitch. I remember her name. Fucking Shirley Tapp.
There is a bus driver right by my house that he always stops for these kids, and I never stop for the kids. I just blow by him, and he's always just yelling at me, and I'm just like, you'll get over it.
Well, it's like Fargo. I went there for an appointment a month or so ago, and I've never drove my own vehicle in Fargo, I've always either been with somebody else or whatever. I've only been here for 8 months. So anyway, I'm driving, and this school bus is at a red light. My light was green, and I turned left, and he's honking at me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy honking at me for? And then I see a fucking do not enter sign, and I'm like, oh shit. And the only place to turn around is like a half mile away. Thank God there was no traffic.
Yeah, that's brutal. Big city of Fargo, man. You get lost in that place.
I don't like driving in big cities.
Matt, you don't like going outside, so I don't know if that's a fair comparison.
Fuck you.
Well, because I'm speaking the truth. This is about to be just an intervention between Matt and I. I was in a good mood today. Are you upset that I poked you in the ribs, wake you up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least I told you to put a hat on.
Take your hat off, man.
Speaking of which, why am I still wearing these? Jesus Christ. This is weird now. So yeah, you're singing along. You ever inquire boy?
I was, yeah, absolutely.
Would you say that had an influence on your music career?
100%.
What are you better at, playing guitar or singing?
In my opinion, I'm not the judge, man. I can't tell you. I just like doing both. I would say probably singing.
Better singer? What's your favorite thing to play? Don't think about it too hard.
I have no idea.
Nothing?
There's no specific song. I love blues.
How many songs do you think you know?
I'd say it's probably around the 200 mark. But if I don't sit down and write a set list out before I go somewhere, I'm like going through pages like, oh shit, even like just like comedy, you have 100,000 good days, and then one day you have a bad day and you're like, damn, I messed up. But people still come up to you and say, dude, you did a good job. And I'm like, man, I was fucking winging it, dude.
Yeah,
Thank
or
you.
if you're me last night, somebody said I wasn't very funny in front of the whole crowd.
Dude, your set
So I
last
yelled
night
at
was
her.
fucking tight, dude.
He's back.
Yeah. I needed that.
He's back.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, my Aaron Rodgers joke was killer. We don't have any jokes for you. Usually, I told Matt, I was like, we got to go back and forth when we have a guest to do jokes.
You fuckers can roast me if you want to. It's cool.
We've been doing that before you showed up. So
All right, that happens.
Now you're a friend. We'll say it to your face. I did. Are you one of those guys that can like hear a song and start playing it, or do you need to like look up the chords?
Well, I mean, so there's a big difference. You know, that's like a thing. You kind of got to go deeper into it. Anybody can develop an ear for music, in my opinion. Maybe they're not going to pick up an instrument or be a good singer, but they
Did
can
you say
develop
Helen
an ear
Keller
for
could?
music.
She could feel.
It might not sound good.
Yeah.
But
Was she hot?
we're not going to get into historical
I don't know,
figures
man. But
and
I
their
will say,
physique.
dude,
Okay?
you know, she broke her right hand.
Doing
Yeah, she was reading speed limit signs at 60 miles an hour.
Wyatt with a zinger. All right, let's go through it. What's your goal with music? Enlighten us. Tell me something.
I want to
Work with me here.
I want it to be my living, dude, because it's like you can work a job, and I'm not shitting on anybody when I say this. You know, you can work a job every day for the rest of your life and be content. Nothing wrong with that. There's people out there like that. Satisfaction and happiness are two different things to me. I'm satisfied with my job, and I was not shitting on my company earlier. Great place, but that's not fulfillment as far as like what I want to do with life goes, you know? I want to send a message, and I'm not necessarily sending a message by turning a wrench every day, because that guy's never going to know who actually worked on it. He's just like, hey, did they do that right?
You don't write them little notes, put it in the cab or something?
No, I put notes on the computer. I'm not going to do that because, you know, farmers.
Like, hey, buddy, good job.
They're not even
Comes
gonna
in
read
with
it.
a gun. Who the hell's Wyatt?
Well, I'm glad you weren't shitting on your employer, because you could be the second guest in a row to get fired from their job for bringing it up. We got to be careful on this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is
You guys are
literally
glowing, brother.
tens of people who are going to listen and hear this.
Hell yeah.
So
I think it's gonna grow our Indiana, Kentucky base. We actually have a pretty good Indiana
yeah,
base.
we're pretty
of listeners.
solid in Indiana right
Well,
now.
I actually, when I first heard about your podcast, I listened to quite a few episodes, and I sent it all to my homies. I'm like, bro, check these guys out. They're pretty solid. They got a good podcast. So I don't know how many listeners that gave you, but I had a few
Probably
off
about
that I know.
four.
Maybe 18.
4 would be a safe number, which would double our listens, which is nice.
Yeah, it'd be intense. Like camping last weekend, it was intense.
Okay, Matt, you can wait outside of the studio. Wyatt and I will let you know when we're done.
So let me ask you a question, Matt. Did you choose Jordan or would you choose the bear, bro?
Wait, what's the question?
You don't know the question. So the women are asking, like, okay, would you? They choose the bear
What's the bear?
over their man.
What's the bear?
It's a symbol of just not being a dick, I guess. You don't know this trend?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So there's a trend that started. I don't know if it's probably about 2 months ago, where these women are like, okay, if you were in a situation where you're going to be alone with a bear or alone with a man,
Oh,
what are you going to choose, brother?
That is a TikTok trend. I thought you were fucking with us.
what are you choosing, Matt?
Jordan, he's a vagina.
Choosing. Wait, if I choose the bear, do I just die in this scenario?
Well, I don't think they know that. They
Are we being attacked by the bear?
You could be.
If we're being attacked by the bear, I don't know. Matt and I would probably be neck and neck in a.
I don't know. Either way,
jog.
I'm choosing the bear, dude.
Key with bears is to punch him in the dick and push him over a cliff.
Okay.
Only works on guy bears, though.
Okay.
I don't know, dude. I saw Leo get mauled by a bear, and it was not pretty.
Dude, that scene in The Revenant is pretty nuts.
Breathtaking.
What if they just wouldn't have not shot it and it just like cuts over and it's just like, well,
Everyone's dead. End of movie.
yeah.
I get it. Every time somebody brings up Revenant, dude, I think about that other Liam Neeson movie that has, is it The Gray?
Oh, yeah. That
Great movie.
I don't know what happens at the end because he gets done and he's like, I'm in the wolf's den. It's like, Oh, that sucks.
Every dog has its day. So yeah, you came to Bismarck, and we're just gonna weave in and out of topics. So just buckle in. You came to the old B town. You show up at an open mic. You run into Matt and myself. First impressions.
First impressions? I thought Matt was probably a little suicidal.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't have a soul.
Yeah, your ability to read people is pretty spot on.
Yeah.
I probably went up and said I want to kill myself like within 5 minutes.
Guys, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Let's keep that in mind. But yeah, you're right about Matt. That's completely accurate.
Yeah.
My first impression of Jordan was, this is the oldest 29-year-old I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Thanks. Was it the looks, the personality?
It's the hair, bro.
It's my hair? What's wrong with my hair?
I'm just kidding, man.
Nothing wrong with my hair.
Nothing's
You got a
wrong
full,
with your hair.
Should see my dong. No.
All gray or just full bald eagle?
No, I actually participated in Shave Your Pubes Tuesday for the first time like last week, and it was a mess.
You have to manscape, bro. I've been doing it for years.
I started this thing in college where we had shared bathrooms. I started Shave Your Pubes Tuesday, and it got a little out of hand. If you didn't get in the bathroom early, it was basically going to be a forest of pubes.
Man.
And like people would be like going down the hallway like chanting "Shave Your Pubes," and I'm like, I created a monster.
Like what they did to Butters in South Park when they turned him into a pimp.
I've only seen like 10 episodes of South Park, but I know you've seen every episode probably 10 times.
Absolutely.
I feel like you can just pull a reference. We were talking last night, and you're like, yo, and Randy Marsh got a DUI, and it's like,
What seems to be the officer problem? Your ability to read people is spot on, dude.
God, circling back here. I actually did start watching that show, Shane Gillis's new show, Tires, today.
Oh, man.
And like in the first or second episode, he's like talking to a reporter, and he's like, oh, didn't you like play football? And he literally said something that described Jordan. He's like 6'3", 240, St. Mary's defensive end. Literally said St. Mary's. And then he's like, all state. And the guy's like, first team? He's like, honorable mention.
That is me to a T.
It was like same high school, pretty close to same position.
Same side of the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wyatt, I don't mean to brag to you right now, but
Oh, I know where
my
you're going with
senior
this.
year of high school for football, I played middle linebacker. And let's just say at the end of the year when they had meetings to discuss the best players, my name was honorably mentioned.
And it was up on the school like board that
yeah,
you like
I
drive
had a picture.
by. It's like most of the time it'd be like, great day to be a saint. And then underneath it was like Jordan Weichel football honorable mention.
That's actually badass, dude.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
gotta-
all West Region AA. So not even the highest class.
So did you ever have any run-ins with Carson Wentz?
You know, Matt and I played T-ball with Carson Wentz, so he pretty much is the man he is today because of us, you could say.
Yeah, like, there's a picture right over there with us and Carson Wentz.
Yeah, not that one, but
Yeah.
it's somewhere over there. Don't worry about it. Don't bring up Carson.
Yeah.
I should have
No,
told
I
you
just-
before the
I
show.
just wanted to ask.
When I asked you if there's nothing we could talk about, we should have told you, don't bring up Carson Wentz. Now we're here.
I was
brother.
supposed to be the famous ginger on our T-ball team.
There's still time.
Who does he play for now? I don't
The
care.
Toronto Argonauts, I believe. The Philadelphia Soul, which is an arena football league team that financially collapsed years ago.
No, the Arena Football League is actually back, and teams are like every week another team folds. It's not going well.
That's shocking. I'm shocked that
You know who the interim commissioner is now?
Jeff Fisher.
Yeah.
You know Jeff?
No, I will say though, as far as arena football goes, though, I think I know why they're kind of collapsing.
No fans.
No fans. Terrible ideas.
Yeah.
Do you ever think maybe that there's enough football in America for us to enjoy?
Oh, absolutely. And then Dwayne Johnson started his own league, so
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know
saying.
how that's going, but
the
yeah.
UFL. So we have the NFL, which is cream of the crop. We have the UFL, which is like, your slow second cousin. And depending on what state you're in, could have sex with them.
A bunch of guys that were
Depending.
just stuck in Jumanji for 12 years. And they got out.
Well, then it's like,
football.
then let's start arena football. It's like a third league? Just seems unnecessary.
And there's also there's 4 different arena leagues.
the Canadian Football League. It's
Canadian
pretty
Football
prominent.
League's probably better than the UFL.
For sure.
Fun fact, we had the first team All-Pro running back of the Canadian Football League on this podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a Grey Cup champion. So
Yeah, kind of a big deal. Actually, he is he's huge now, but he had 50,000 followers when we interviewed. I think he's close to 250,000 now. So this podcast has springboarded a lot of careers. I don't know if it's a direct correlation, but I can't rule it out.
I would say not. But yeah, before we started,
No hesitation in that.
we discussed with you our past guests, Kenny Fiddler,
Love
Colton
him.
Jesse. What do you
Love
know
him.
about those boys?
Kenny Fiddler, I think that people underrated him, bro. I thought those albums that I listened to, I still have them on my playlist. My daily at work is a Western playlist, because I like listening to country music while I'm turning wrenches. And when I go home and drink beer, it just
And go home and turn my wrench listening to Western.
yeah,
Dabble in a touch of domestic
Cranking that
abuse and
hog
head to
off.
the bar.
Dude,
allegedly.
I said it.
There's
Wyatt didn't say
there's
it.
a Cubs pitcher who comes out to a Johnny Cash song. It's super badass, and then he just gives up a home run immediately. Justin Steele comes out to
Find it.
it's
Ring of Fire.
no, it's
Cocaine Blues.
Is it Ain't No Grave
Folsom Prison.
or
Walk the Line.
God's gonna cut you down,
that was my
which,
next
which is
guess.
fucking badass.
That is badass.
to come, and he's he's from
dude.
Mississippi. Just
Brother, that boy's rednecked up, dude.
yeah, oh yeah, and
Yes, sir.
he's awesome.
How do you compare to Johnny Cash?
I'm not going to compare myself to Johnny Cash. Legend.
Dude,
he
this
did
interview's
some
going well.
shitty things, but he is a legend.
Dude, we interviewed this couple that's a band, Slamabama. Check them out; they're awesome. And the girl worked at Victoria's Secret and sold Johnny Cash some unmentionables.
Yeah, Johnny loves the thong. He loves wearing thongs on stage.
Oh,
Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Well, I made that up. It's not true.
What if
Thank you for restoring my faith in my favorite legend.
Next thing you know, Wyatt's wearing a G-string.
Yeah,
on
I don't know
stage.
about that.
This thing's
Maybe-
riding a little too much.
It's kind
it
of
just disappeared into
that
my
would have been like
asshole?
that would have made him like how I feel about Elvis now. When I was a kid growing up, like everybody I know, old family is like, yeah, Elvis is great. Elvis is great. Now I'm
Because
like,
they made the movie, now you don't like him?
no, it's because he groomed a child, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
who's that?
His wife was like 14.
Oh,
Yeah. The more you know.
put
They
some up
left
there.
that out of the movie. Part,
Yeah.
where they're like, "Hi, I'm 14." They didn't. They cut that was a deleted scene, I think.
Well, there's 3 things I absolutely despise, right?
Michael Jackson.
No.
Okay.
But Michael Jackson will fall into one of these categories, allegedly. Childhood obesity. It sucks. It's sad.
Were you a chunker?
I was not.
Oh,
Dude, I was fat. Well, I still am kind of fat, but
Matt, you were teeny. Anyway.
Number 2 is pedophiles.
Okay.
And number
Do those
3,
go hand in hand? At all, the child obesity and pedophiles?
I mean-
Is there a correlation there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like this
Just
third
curious.
one's gonna be really weird.
Oh yeah, people that dress up as clowns
Ooh, you don't like
just to
juggalos?
scare people.
Oh, yeah.
Juggalos are different.
Insane Clown Posse.
We got a little respect for them, but
Respect for them.
Until you forget your
clown people.
you forget
Juggalo
your
Island.
you forget your white face paint and you accidentally go as blackface to a concert.
Oh man, you don't make that mistake if you're colorblind.
Yep. I can't remember who was telling me the story, but he's like, yeah, I already had white face paint, so I needed to go get black face paint to dress up as a juggalo. But he's like, I went to like Party America or something, and I just bought black face paint, so it looked like, he was just gonna go in blackface. Got some questionable looks leaving the store.
It's fine. You can't just assume racism by a purchase, you know?
Oh, you absolutely can.
Okay, so childhood obesity.
Childhood obesity.
What's with that? When did you come up with that opinion?
Okay, so I'm going to say I don't hate fat children, right?
I do.
But I definitely feel like fat children could have been helped.
Oh, right on.
I don't like weird people.
That's why Matt hates himself.
Yeah. Like my neighbor who plays with a sword in his front yard.
Oh, man.
It would be fine if he was like 10. He's like 20.
Oh, dude.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's awkward.
Yeah.
I might add that as number 4 to my list, dude.
Adults who play with swords.
How did we go
Is
from
he like
Johnny Cash
in
to
really
this?
good shape though? Like does he Okay. I was going to say he could be a professional swordsman, you know, but he's just swinging and cutting open those empty 2 liters that he chugged last night while he was eating his freaking Little Caesars.
It's off-brand Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Mountain Lightning.
Mountain Lion.
All right, guys, let's reel it in. Okay, we gotta reel it in. We got some time left here. So Wyatt, the goal is to be what?
I just want to be a musician.
Musician.
I want my life goal, and I know I'm going to make another one after this happens. Is Grand Ole Opry. I want to play on that stage.
I want to play there. So what have you done so far, and what do you plan on doing to achieve your goals? You got to make some moves, all right? I don't want to break it to you, but I think you figured it out. Bismarck, North Dakota, not the best market for entertainment.
It took me about 10 days to figure that out.
10 days?
Yeah.
I played one show at Jimmy V's right after I moved here. I'm like, this might not be it, but these people are pretty cool. The 4 people that were in there.
Well, we met at open mic to give our listeners some contests, a variety open mics. So Wyatt does music, Matt and I do stand-up comedy, obviously. You came in and you blew the doors off that place. There's you, and then there's, no offense to everybody else participating, 50 feet of shit, and then it's the rest of the musicians.
Man, I appreciate that, brother. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Like I said, man, y'all are the judges, not me. I try to stay humble.
I love just shitting on other people to compliment another person like yourself. It's one of my favorite things. Here we go. Yeah. Big Nux. Nice. So yeah, what's been happening with your professional career? What kind of moves have you been making? What kind of moves are you going to make? I anticipate something big in the near future, and that's up to you to share.
So I got signed to a label almost 2 months ago now. Shout out to Alpha Park Records out of Rockford, Illinois. Small place, but I'm excited to start working with them. I plan to release my first full album with them.
Let's stop right there. How did you go about that? You start cold calling people? Or are you sending your material to all sorts of people? What do you do? How does one, because you're doing this all on your own, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How does one go about doing what you did?
Honestly, it's kind of just a walk of life. I was friends with the guy in the military that, like, we were best buds. You know, he worked in air department where I was working at. You know, he was a corpsman, and he moved back to his hometown after he got out, and he's told his buddy that owns the studio about me, and they listen to my music, and he's like, hey man, he wants to give you a call, hook up a time with him. And I'm like, okay, because, you know, I was looking for labels and stuff, but, you know, royalties, stuff like that's crazy, and I haven't done anything crazy big yet to be worried about that. But if I only have 3 songs out and somebody asks me, hey man, we want 14%, I'm like, bro, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to pay you from my day job paycheck to make that work, you know.
Yeah.
Or if I only make $5 in 1 month from my music.
So you just leveraged a connection and kind of fell into place to get
Kind of just fell into place, man.
get the deal done.
Something I ask about, you know, like I tell myself every day when I look in the mirror, like, keep doing this, keep doing it. Manifestation plays a big part in all these things that I've accomplished in the last year and a half.
There you go. Yeah, got to be mentally tough. That's very important. So you get signed. What happens after that? What's the next move?
I just release an album, and I plan on at some point I'm going to go try out Nashville.
Okay.
I know it's not going to be as consistent as having a 40-hour-a-week job like I have for the last, 8 years. But at the same time, I want to take the leap of faith because that's happiness. I'll compare it to Austin. Some of these comedians are just living out of their car. If I have to do that, I would.
Respect.
I know I'm not going to have to do that, though, but...
Yeah, I think you'll be fine, especially you plan ahead, save a little bit, you'll be able to do it. Let me tell you something. Somebody said it to me one day, but I'll put it in terms of your situation. The wrenches will always be there to be turned.
Absolutely.
But your youth and your opportunity won't.
Somebody's told me that.
Was it me?
Is it a fortune cookie?
No. It was some old guy.
Well, somebody told me about the business I run. They said that will always be there, but...
Maybe not in the wrench context, but they said that.
I put it in
it'll
the
always
wrench
be there.
context for you.
Okay,
It was a
I appreciate
custom
you.
context I did
Love
there.
that. Yeah.
You're
Thank
a big
you.
wrench guy, aren't you?
I'm really not.
Okay. Medium wrench, small
What do we
wrench?
mean by wrench context?
Just open for interpretation.
Tell me when.
Let's stop right there. About 7 inches.
There you
Wrench
go.
context.
Okay.
Your standard 10 mil.
Okay. Nice. 10 milligram Adderall. Nice. Love it.
10 millimeter.
Oh,
wrench.
yeah. That one. Okay. So thinking about Nashville, I mean, seems like the obvious answer, but what about Nashville drew you to kind of make that early decision? I know it's kind of an idea right now, but it's definitely going to happen. I can feel it in my bones.
It's Music Road.
Yeah.
It's where people go to make it or break it.
Yeah.
I know that it's like that. It's an old proverb, Iron sharpens iron just as one man sharpens his friend. I have to surround myself with the people that are like-minded of who I want to be.
Try being friends with Matt for 25 years.
It's a pretty sad existence.
I'm sorry, man.
If he didn't keep feeding me gift cards that he gets for work, I wouldn't be his friend
Big
anymore.
dog. I've been there.
I don't like gift cards,
Yeah,
but I think I might need to start using them.
Yeah, we need to get you back on the gift cards. Yeah, what were we saying? Oh, yeah, what if I were to tell you, and I heard this from somebody out in Nashville, what if I told you it's a 10-year town? You ready for that?
10-year town?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, but that's up to speculation.
I mean, I think it's just a generalization. I don't think once you hit 10 years in Nashville, a bunch of balloons get released and poppers and
Because I think at
confetti
this
and
point,
shit.
once I'm 37, they're like, oh, this guy.
kind of like used goods.
Yeah, it's
Is being a musician a lot like being an NFL running back? Once you turn 28, you're screwed.
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. Move it up 2 years.
30?
Yeah, probably about 30. I would say, at least
You have
in
something
my
against
head.
30-year-olds?
Nothing, absolutely
I
nothing.
said I was
but-
the oldest 29-year-old. What the hell is that about? God!
I think I don't know. I lost the
The,
thought.
the
Right
10
on.
year, I can interpret that for you. The 10-year thing is they're going to compare these 200,000 people that do it to these 5,000 that make it. Right?
Yeah.
The 5,000 that make it in 3 months. That statistic of people staying there for 10 years to make it is going to be way higher, So that's why they call it the 10-year town, because not a lot of people that do it make it. Whether I don't know what everybody else's life goals are in their head or their morals, but for me, it's just don't stop. If you really want something, dude, you got to do it, man. Nobody's going to do it for me.
It's true.
And if I get kicked down, whatever, dude, just get up and do it again.
The wrench isn't going to turn itself,
I think
My guitar's not going to play itself.
Nailed it.
I think too, being like in comedy and music is one of those things like something in social media. Like if you get a clip that goes viral, like there was a guy who I follow on Instagram and he quit his job to do country music because he had like a couple clips go viral on TikTok. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then he's just moved. And it's like, wow, it's attainable. It's probably easier than it was with what you can reach.
Yeah, for sure. With social media, you can definitely rise a lot quicker.
Absolutely.
You get in front of the right eyes and it's the right vibe and right time. That's all it comes down to is timing, I feel.
Well, look at the guy that did Richmond north of Richmond.
Yeah, overnight.
Yeah, he like literally went from like I think said he was getting paid like $16 an hour to do something, and then like literally overnight of something that was filmed on a phone is playing crowds of like 15,000 people and getting paid tens of thousands of dollars to do it.
He wrote some shit that some blue collar dude somewhere related to, and then he's like, show my friends. Just send it to all of them, and they're like, dude, who is this guy?
Yeah. My favorite part is people like around here, they're like, that song's basically my life. And it's like, dude, we work in the same office. That is not your life.
You're not a coal miner from Virginia.
Yeah.
You're an accountant.
Shout out to my
Jeff.
boys in Kentucky. I feel for the coal miners, man. Absolutely feel for the coal miners.
That would be a job that I could never do.
I mean, I feel you, Wyatt, with like you're saying earlier, you're not trashing people or like your job, but it's just not for you. Like I will drive around town, especially now. The 2 seasons in North Dakota is winter and construction. So right now, a lot of construction workers out on the road. When I drive by them, I'm like, I almost get anxiety through them because I'm like, I can't imagine.
I'm depressed for you boys.
Yeah. Oh, let's work for 14 hours. I'm gonna go sauce at the bar for the next 4 as I'm sunburnt. I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m.
I just finished a 72-hour shift at the bowl crushing factory. You got soft hands, brother.
Yeah, holy shit.
But their egos are crazy, bro. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody that's just like been in a factory for 20
But
years?
haven't you felt after a long day, a hard day of work, don't you just feel good? And they feel that every day because they don't have a choice. They're out there for 14 hours busting ass. I'm not defending them. I was just making a
I guess so.
observation, if you will.
But like where I'm from, it's, like Chicago's really big with Local 150, Love those guys. Not trashing them. Some of my buddies from high school work for 150 now. They make crazy good money. But then you see the TikToks like the operators union posts a video, or some guy that works in the operators union posts a video, and then all those dudes in the comments, pipe fitters, mechanics, everybody just shits on each other, dude. And it's like, brother, you're still getting a paycheck. You're paying your bills. Comparison is the thief of joy, bro. Stop comparing your life. And they do that, and I'm like, damn, it's fucking miserable, dude.
It's a lot like construction building homes. Because if the framer messes up, they just leave it for the sheetrock guy. And then if the sheetrock guy messes up, he leaves it for the mud guy. And then if they mess up, they leave it for the electrician and then the plumber and the painter. And it's just there's no camaraderie.
You know what I like doing? I like seeing those sick welds people lay on Facebook, like videos,
Oh, dude,
They're
the,
like
the
sick
welding
welds
the
in it.
welding academy guys. He's like, what do you think you're worth an hour? And he's like, $400. He's like, start you at 12.
He's like, all right,
deal.
I'll take it. Yeah, or like you get, I see these people laying sick beads, and I just get in the comments with everybody else. It's just like, that bead sucks. I don't know fucking shit about welding, dude.
Yeah, the amount of keyboard warriors that are like, that weld sucks. You click on their profile, it's like, accountant at HDR Accounting.
About the only ability that I have, which I do it sometimes, is I'll break a bolt off of something and I'll just like tack a new one on. But that doesn't take skill, dude.
Just take some hot metal.
Yeah, isn't
pretty
that
much.
just heating metal up and kind of like gluing it together?
Pretty much. I mean, you got to get a bead on it, but
Gotta get a beat on it, man.
I mean,
Now you know.
but hey, man, I'm not worth no fucking $40 an hour.
What are you worth?
400, huh?
What are you worth?
In the mechanic world,
How much
I'd
did
say
you make last year before taxes?
last year before taxes?
Okay, don't you? No,
Yeah,
you
you
have to
did-
say that.
I'll answer this.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
a
answer
Step Brothers question.
Don't answer it.
We're gonna interview you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's with the banquet beer?
Uh,
Are you just trying to stay on brand? Do you even like banquet beer? Or you just
love banquet, dude.
it's your favorite?
It's my favorite.
It's like the cowboy real country people.
Well, it's the banquet of beers.
What do you think about the country music artists that are just kind of like poser country?
What would you consider poser country? I think I know what you're
Like,
considering poser country.
I'm trying to like, I don't know.
Bro country?
Yeah, like
Florida Georgia line.
yeah, Kane
I knew
Brown.
Is that what you're going for?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you guys here right now. I'm going to be one of those guys that say, I hate radio country. Kane Brown has a couple bangers, dude. At least in my opinion.
I mean, those guys, they know, like,
They know music.
yeah, and what sounds like the fact that we are so dumb, like the song "What Does the Fox Say" was a joke about how dumb Americans are.
But then it blew up in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like two Swedish guys that are just like, here's how dumb America is, and they just made millions of dollars off of a song.
Classic. That's the American way. Swedish is the American way dumb then? If the Swedish guys had to make a point of how stupid we are to make money.
Green Day did it too. Even though if I'm wrong, correct me. But I'm pretty sure they're from Canada. But they wrote "American Idiot" and it fucking blew up in America.
Have you listened to "Canadian Idiot" by Weird Al?
I have. That came into my mind.
Yeah, I just still feel bad for Scotty in the song Scotty Doesn't Know. Poor sucker.
Man, you got to listen to Bad Flower, bro.
Bad Flower.
Yeah, they got a song about. It's called "Johnny Wants to Fight."
Is he any good
song? Yeah,
at fighting?
I don't know.
You don't know. Who would you compare your sound to? Who would you say you sound the most like?
My opinion.
Because in a little bit here, we're going to give our listeners and our viewers the first ever live performance on the podcast. Copyright cool with you? Need a verbal.
Cool.
All right.
Copyright's cool. You can say, you can.
There you go, Matt. You heard it. Matt's our legal department.
Yeah.
What do you mean copyright?
Because we can't play copyrighted music
yeah.
on the YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I'm playing.
This is your verbal.
I can play my originals, yeah, absolutely.
So you sound like...
I would say I don't sound like anybody in particular, but I have heavy influences. Coulter Wall. And then on the other ladder, when I play with the band or when I write like a song like heavy is like, I'd say Stone Temple Pilots. Scott Weiland is one of my favorite vocalists of all time. Rest in peace, brother. You know?
You big Alice in Chains guy?
Absolutely, dude. Lane Staley's a god, dude.
Yeah, listen to you probably have on YouTube the MTV Unplugged, whatever song, I can't remember.
I miss all that shit, dude.
I went nuts. I binged Alice in
Would
Chains.
you say
for like
you're in a
4 days.
nutshell?
There it is. There it is. There it is,
No
Wyatt.
excuses.
Yeah, I just glossed over because I don't know who any of these guys are.
That was my favorite song from Alice in Chains was No Excuses.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lane Staley, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Do you think that with your fame, you're going to pick up a pretty wicked drug habit or no?
No, absolutely not.
No.
I won't do it. I think I've already had my time with my vices, and I don't want to wake up feeling like shit about the decisions I made before.
Remember that one night?
Yeah, you've been witness to that, brother.
Let's ask this question. Morgan Wallen throwing a chair off of a 6-story bar. Funny or dick move?
I got a little bit of respect back for him after that happened. That motherfucker's an outlaw, bro. He doesn't give a shit. Or maybe he was just trashed.
I mean, it was a little bit of probably both because he loves the sauce. But like, it's hilarious.
It's
awesome.
awesome.
But like the fact that it literally could have killed someone.
Yeah.
Maybe not so funny, but like, if I say I threw a chair off of a 6-story building, kind of funny. But if you say, and it landed on someone, then it's not so funny.
Yeah.
He's probably trying to keep his edge. You know, earlier that day, his agent probably was like, you know what? That Luke Combs mother trucker he's catching you up.
Brother, dude.
And then Morgan Wallen was like, I need to hit the headlines.
Combs,
You don't like Luke Combs?
I love that fucker, dude.
Oh.
Whoa.
Bro, he's got some good shit.
A lot of passion in your voice there.
Well,
Dude,
you know,
and he pulled just the hottest chick.
bro, let me tell you this. So they grew up together.
He gives me faith for
They
having
were in
a
school
shitty
together.
beard.
You know, so like, but I was watching him on Vine in like 2012, and I thought to myself, like, oh, this guy's guy, it's going to happen. And then he released that I don't know if it was a single or if it was on a first album, Way She Rides. I'm like, bro, this is a banger, dude. Yeah, Luke Combs. And then I stopped listening to him because I'm like,
Plus, he wrote Fast Cars, so that's nice.
well, let's not disrespect my girl like that, brother.
I didn't know Tracy Chapman was a female until about 6 months ago.
That's when I found out that I loved black women. I was a kid and seen a Tracy Chapman video, and I'm like, oh, she's kind of weird, but it's in like really hot, you know.
Dude, Tracy Chapman's got some songs that are just, they go.
Give me one reason to stay here. Oh, I remember listening to that in my hometown Taco Bell when I was like 14, and I'm like, dude, bro, give me one reason to stay here because I'm about this shit, dude.
Classic.
You're just in a
burritos.
Taco Bell bathroom kicking your legs.
Damn, this song sounds good. And then, give me one reason.
I'll take a cheesy gordita crunch, Pepto-Bismol, and a loaded handgun.
God, I was going to say something. I totally forgot. What were we talking about? Luke Combs?
Luke Combs.
Remember the Taco Bell thing where you could put like a quarter in and then you had to like shift it?
Oh, dude, we had a movie gallery that did that.
And then like, what could you win?
You could like get like a free rental for like 7 days. The Taco Bell had one, but it was like a little bit different. The one at Movie Gallery had water in it.
Yeah.
You dropped a quarter, turn the knob, you know.
Yeah.
I won a 5-layer burrito one time, dude, with a dime.
Yeah, because it was like dime was a 5-layer burrito, nickel was a cinnamon twist, and then a quarter was a bean burrito.
It was like a bean burrito or like a gordita crunch or whatever. Yeah, good times, man, good times.
I definitely am having a brain fart right now. I had a great story just queued up, ready to go.
Oh, that's my bad, brother.
Lost it. No, you're good. You are our guest today. That's Wyatt Homan, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Make sure you check him out.
Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube.
There you go.
TikTok, Wyatt Homan Music.
Plug it up, bro.
Yes, sir. I was named after a cowboy, but I'm not a cowboy. Just like to live like my heroes, you know what I mean? I'm going to throw 2 chairs off of a 6th-floor balcony someday.
I'm twice as good as Morgan Wallen. I threw the table, too.
I will say one thing that, like, this happened a few years ago. Morgan Wallen, can you Google this real quick?
Yeah.
He was in Memphis or something, and he made out with, like, 23 chicks.
No, he went to an Alabama sorority house and, like, literally just...
He made out with Olivia.
Oh, there's
Dunn.
a whole link for Morgan Wallen making bad decisions, dude.
Yeah, didn't he have to apologize for making out with chicks at Alabama?
Oh, man, is that Caleb Presley, dude, at Barstool?
Whatever happened to being a cold-blooded American who is just a stud?
Whatever happened to just being an outlaw, man? I mean, like, outside of breaking the law, like, kissing 23 girls at a sorority house, pretty sure they all consented to it. You're not breaking the law.
Did I ever tell you that I went to a Morgan Wallen concert and I had a pit pass, and at one point during the concert, he looked directly at me and handed me a guitar pick?
Really?
The second part wasn't true of that story.
Nice,
but
nice.
I had you pretty locked in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was you can buy 4 beers at once night, which was nice. They gave you a little drink carrier. Yeah. Really made for some interesting situations.
I think it would have been funnier if they didn't give you a drink carrier and you had like 4 cups of beer and you're just holding it.
Would have just brought the beer helmet and just put some straws in there and just be drinking straight from the helmet. You ever wear a helmet?
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
have
wear
a
a
lacrosse helmet. You want to try it on?
Yeah, we'll try it on.
Okay.
Absolutely. I also wear a high-vis vest sometimes. Oh. Just to let people know, like, hey, this guy might be slow.
You ever play lacrosse?
Not lacrosse. No,
It goes on your head.
no I know.
Okay.
Take your hat off, man.
Oh, this is fun, huh? You having fun?
Oh, yeah.
You ever done a podcast before?
Have not. First one.
What do you think when you hear for the first time No Brains, No Headache podcast? What do you think that's about?
That means if I had...
That does not fit.
If I had brains, I would have a headache.
Dude,
But
we
I
have
don't,
we
so
have
I
a
don't get headaches.
we have a lot of helmets in here.
Yeah, there's quite a few. We got the baseball one. That's our alma mater. Do you know what an alma mater is? You can say no.
I feel like I know what it is. If you tell me I know what it is, I
It's
feel like
where
I know
you
what
went
it
to
is.
school. I feel like that's
Yeah.
such a common thing that a lot of people don't know what it is, and I feel like
But then when you tell me though, I knew that.
It's one of those like laps and not like I was 24 when I found out that bags was called cornhole by most people.
Yeah.
And up to that point, cornhole just meant asshole to me.
Oh no, that's actually chili hole. You can't
Well,
have a multiple meaning there.
Where I'm from, it's always cornhole. But if you go up to one of your buddies and you're like, hey, yeah, you're probably cornholing that dude over there, and you make it gay, but it's like, what do you mean? You're putting bags in holes, bro. Either way, whether you're playing the game or just
The game cornhole is pretty fun. The game chili hole is fucking disgusting.
You ever dip a ball in?
I don't think I've ever hit anything that loose, brother.
No, haven't dipped a fondue set.
Stick a fork in one of your testicles.
What are we talking about?
Back to wrenches.
I dipped my balls into a cheese fountain at Golden Corral one time.
No, you did not.
No, I did not.
Dude, Golden Corral, I'm glad it closed here.
Oh, man.
It was just food poisoning
That place
city.
is shit, dude.
Yeah. It's like, oh, thanks for the steak. And
Everybody's
it's like,
crazy about it because it's only like an $11 buffet,
Yeah.
dude.
It's a great way to cut some pounds. Just go there and get dysentery.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
I've
then
had that before.
And then,
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
It's called the Double Dragon, brother.
did you ever eat anything weird when you were in the military? Because
Yeah,
we had a
it's
guy.
where we're going.
We had a guy on that. He said he ate like horse or like squid, like live squid and shit.
I've ate squid. Yeah. Just straight out of the ocean on the street.
Ugh.
They just threw it on the grill for like 10 seconds, cut the brain, and then again, try it out, dude.
Where have you been thanks to our military?
I'm not going to remember quite everything right off the bat, but
Throw a couple out there.
Thailand, Vietnam, Mexico,
You ever-
Jordan.
Nice.
You ever watch the show The Last Ship?
My first ship they filmed while I
Really?
was in the military. Yeah, on our ship,
That's actually a pretty good show.
Cell Block 22, USS San Diego, baby. I love you fuckers.
Dude, that's Navy show.
Yeah, like we like the actor. There was like one actor and like two actresses that got off the helicopter, and like you see like we're like extras. We're the guys that were chaining the helicopter and then taking the chocks out. You know.
We had a guy on that he was an extra in the first Top Gun movie.
Oh, that's sick. My brother is an extra in the second Top Gun movie. He was on the Roosevelt.
Dang. That's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
I might be wrong, but when I was in, and after this, I had a couple buddies on the Roosevelt because San Diego is 6 miles apart from the base that I was on, where my brother was and some of my friends. They paid those guys to be extras in Top Gun 2.
Yeah.
They gave him like maybe like $60, but I'm like, damn, dude, you guys, I literally like seen that actress, when they got out of the helicopter, and I'm like, damn, you're not going to give me $60, dude?
There was a. What if you just went and asked for $60 just out of
It's like
context?
to see the director over there by the garage or the hangar bay or whatever.
I actually know the audio
they didn't.
technician for Husky Sluts 4, so we all have ties to Hollywood
Yeah.
here, which is nice.
Husky Sluts 4.
Yeah.
Damn.
The best one out of the 4.
I was gonna.
I have to
thought
check
I-
that out.
You'd probably like it.
I liked Star Wars. You remember that one?
How could I ever
The
forget?
Empire Strikes from the Back.
You just start making up like
Dude, I'm
crazy.
I
porn
came
names.
up with maybe my favorite porn parody title. Will He Wank Me in the Chocolate Factory?
That's
Schindler's Fist. Oh man.
I feel like I had a few that I totally forgot about, but yeah.
you remember like okay, so you're
What
not
about-
that much older than me.
But Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was thinking of one for that.
The one last night was that big old lunch box full of porn at the bar, and I opened it up, and the first one I grabbed was called Fun Bag Mountain.
that was so you weren't just telling a story. That really happened.
Yeah, do you want to buy
I thought you
some?
were just like,
we'll
no,
send you home with
something-
some.
Yeah,
No, I'm good. Man.
Got a DVD player?
I have
Brother, I don't watch
quite
porn.
literally the most extensive porn collection probably in the upper Midwest. Thousands of
More power
DVDs.
to you, brother.
We didn't ask for this.
But I was going to say,
But God blessed us.
Do you remember though being like 5 years old? I would have been like Okay, when I was 5 years old, you guys would have been like 10.
Oh, dude, I would have worn my wrench all the way down.
Have you ever tugged your dad's wrench?
You guys want to hear a Johnny joke?
Go for it.
All right,
Try
so-
jokes on us. That'll be a nice change.
So Johnny's like, he's in kindergarten, and he's still growing up, whatever. So he still showers with his parents. And one day he has to take he still has to like, well, obviously, like, it's just a joke, dude. Whatever. I don't know where they're doing this at, but fuck, man. Anyways, he's in the shower with his dad, and he says, "Hey, Dad, what's that?" He says, "That's my nerve, Johnny. One day yours will be as big as mine." Well, then a couple days go by, and he's sitting in class one day, and he's like, he's got to go to the bathroom so bad, dude. He's raising his hands, doing a potty dance. He's just going nuts. The teacher's like, "Johnny, what do you want?" He said, "Can I go to the bathroom, please?" And she says, "No, Johnny, you can wait till after class." Well, he just gets up, walks right up to the trash can in front of the room, whips his little wiener out, starts taking a piss, and she says, "Johnny, you got some nerve." He says, "Well, you should see my dad. One day mine will be as big as his."
That's funny. I thought of it before you came to the studio. You asked if you could drink beers in the studio, and I said you could smoke crack in the
Fuck
studio
yeah,
for
dude.
all I care, and you should. But you could be the first person to give a live performance and first person to smoke crack.
I don't know how that would work out.
You just
Probably not well.
you just break your guitar, or start eating it.
You ever smashed a guitar?
I have.
Is it satisfying?
Oh, dude. Brother, that's freedom.
And then what
Something
happens?
about it. I heard a bald eagle screech because I'm in America. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wait, you did or did not smash a guitar?
No, so actually, shout out to my boy that lives in Mandan. This is when we were in the military. I bought a guitar that day, and I had an insurance policy on it. And we were fucked up, dude. Played like fucking 5 songs. We were throwing a party.
Nice.
I played like 5 songs, and then somebody's like, "Hey, break that on Jeffrey's ass." So
You got some nerve.
and you should see my dad's. Mine's bigger than his.
Yeah, he was still showering with his parents. What?
I don't know. That's the joke, dude.
What do you have, like one good military story, funny one, anything good you can think of off the top of your head? Give us something good to end on. We'll wrap it up. Anything come to mind?
Give me a second to think. Absolutely. So, I'm not going to name names here.
I wouldn't.
But anyways, actually, I'm gonna name names.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's
It was
fair
myself.
too. Okay.
We're just drinking one night. Good old San Diego. Fucking hammered. And everybody knows, like, if I'm hammered, this is in my early 20s, I'm not the same anymore, but they're like, if you tell that guy to do something fucking crazy, he's going to do it. We just cooked probably 2 pounds of steaks, maybe like a 12-piece chicken, Somebody says, "Hey, man, somebody should put their dick on the grill." And I'm fucking just hammered on tequila, bro. Just reeled in. I'm like, "I'll put my dick on the grill." Didn't pay attention to how many people were actually watching. There's about 30 people watching me. I put my dick on the grill, and then the first instinct was to just fucking run away whenever I got burned, and I jumped over a rail, fell flat on my fucking face with a burnt dick and a fucking bruised forehead, dude.
Did you say it was medium rare? How'd you cook it?
Hopefully you guys weren't having hot dogs that
I didn't
night.
have it on there long enough.
No.
Somebody still ate wiener that night, though.
Nice. Was it you? Oh.
No. Somebody.
Your dad?
I still got laid that night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Despite the 3rd-degree burn.
I mean, hey. You cooled it off, brother.
Well, there you have it, kids. You want to join the military, you're going to have to put your penis on a grill.
Yeah.
Not
So
necessarily.
think twice.
Things got hot that
Be
night.
the guy that finds out who's going to put their penis on the grill. You'll become a leader someday.
All right, we got Wyatt Homan here. Make sure you check him out on Spotify. Just plug yourself. Why don't you?
Wyatt Homan, WYATTHOMAN, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora for fuckers that don't want to move on. You just pull up the radio station, blend my music in. TikTok, Wyatt Homan Music.
Right on.
And you're going to play a song for us.
I will play you a
Okay,
song.
Matt, why don't you two get ready and I'll plug us. That's our episode this week as we end with a song from Wyatt. What song are you going to do?
Do you want something like upbeat?
I think I want an original song.
Absolutely. Show me
I
which
want
one.
White House Road.
Oh, that's not original.
That's not
Tyler,
you?
That's Tyler Childers.
That's not you.
Yeah, that's not me. That's
Shows
just a cover.
a lot about my intellect on music. You play whatever you want. But make sure you follow us. You want to grab your guitar. Matt will get you all set up. Get ready to rock and roll.
Chair.
This one?
Yeah. Or do you want to sit?
Be sure to follow us on social media at NBNH Podcast, or search No Brains, No Headache, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You can watch on YouTube. Thank you to everybody watching on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe there. Wherever you're listening, make sure you subscribe. You can give us a review if you want. That would be absolutely lovely. And Wyatt, just want to say thank you so much for coming on and being here, and wish you the best of luck in the future. And that's our episode, ladies and gentlemen. Wyatt Homan to end things off here.
Way high up next to the mountain streams, I can hear the birds singing through the trees, looking to cure the loneliness, quite like me. And I know that I'm foolish, praying for something more, hoping that she'll walk back in through my door. We could build a castle somewhere in the sand, let the ocean flow right through our hands as we go far as we can see. Come and cure the lonely, it's haunting in my dreams. I could see a vision of you and me, a happy as can be. Way high up next to the mountain streams, I'm gonna build a cabin. We'll spend our lives, you and me, a happy as can be.